what he has seen with his own eyes 2 miles down under ice are hieroglyphs that archaeologists...
I walked through halls lit by green plasma. No machinery, just symbols, like Egyptian walls. My team froze when a 14-foot shadow moved. They told us, national security. We've been silent for 20 years.
Whatever this is, like the walls are reactive, the door would open. They would walk through, and he went through many of these doors. And he said, you turn around, and you're staring at a perfect circle.
But here's the problem. The official record says McMurdo Station in 2003 was running routine ice core drills, climate data, atmospheric samples, nothing more. Yet this man, a decorated Navy SEAL, claims he entered a melt tunnel beneath the base and found corridors humming with energy, walls carved in symbols that matched ancient Sumer, and something watching from the dark. Now, at 83, investigative journalist Moulton Howe says she can't stay quiet anymore. Before I die, she says, I must expose what they saw. But what she's about to reveal contradicts 70 years of official history, and it just got harder to ignore. Because 2 days ago, scientists released a new map of Antarctica, and it shows something that shouldn't be there. Look, Linda. Moulton Howe didn't start out chasing alien bases. Born in 1942, she won a Miss America scholarship, studied English at Stanford, and became an Emmy-winning TV reporter in Denver. Her first big break? Cattle mutilations in the 1970s. Ranchers weren't imagining things. Organs removed with surgical precision, no blood, strange radiation traces. She followed the evidence, even when it led her into UFO files, Pentagon briefings, and encrypted emails from aerospace insiders. But it wasn't ranchers who pointed her to Antarctica. It was a Boeing executive in 1983. He told her about Operation High Jump, the massive 1946-47 U.S. Navy expedition led by Admiral Richard E. Byrd. Officially, it was a training mission, a test of cold weather operations. 13 men died, all listed as aviation accidents. Mission ended February 1947, case closed. But the Boeing exec whispered something else. On January 21, 1947, a reconnaissance squadron vanished near 69 degrees south, 72 degrees west. Not from storms, not from mechanical failure, from ET fire. Howe spent the next 40 years chasing that lead, and in 2003, she found someone who'd been inside. His call sign, Spartan 1, Navy SEAL, deployed to McMurdo under classified orders, tasked with securing a newly opened ice fissure after an underground heat surge melted a vertical shaft 300 feet deep. He went down with 5 others. What they found wasn't geology. Green plasma lighting. No wires, no fixtures. Walls covered in glyphs that matched tablets from Iraq. Temperature stable at 68 degrees Fahrenheit despite minus 40 degrees surface temps.
The outside temperature was at least 40 degrees below zero. Once you stepped inside these structures, the temperature was an ambient 68 to 72 degrees.
Then, movement. A silhouette, 12 to 14 feet tall, stepped from a side passage. No sound, just stillness. Then it turned its head. They ran. 3 never spoke again. 2 were reassigned overseas. Spartan 1 stayed silent until 2020 when he contacted Howe. Now, normally, you'd write this off as one man's trauma-fueled story. But wait, he wasn't alone. In the 1980s, Navy officer Brian S. flew a surveillance route over Wilkes Land. His instruments spiked, warm updrafts at minus 50 degrees Celsius. Radar showed structures, geometric, massive, buried under 2 miles of ice. He filed a report. It vanished. His flight logs? Redacted. His debriefing? Classified under national security. Then there's Spartan 2, a Marine who served at Amundsen Scott South Pole Station in 2011. He claims the glyphs Spartan 1 described match symbols seen by Mars rovers and Apollo astronauts on the moon's far side. 3 branches, 3 decades, same story, something's under the ice, and it's not natural. But let's be honest, 80% of Howe's sources are anonymous. There's no declassified document proving alien ruins, no photo, no artifact. Mainstream science calls it pareidolia, seeing faces in clouds, castles and rock formations. Dr. Peter Neff, glaciologist at the University of Minnesota, put it plainly in January 2026. Lake Vostok's depth, 4 kilometers, is astonishing, but it's geology, not aliens. And yet, on January 16, 2026, the British Antarctic Survey dropped a bombshell. Using NASA's ICSat-2 and decades of radar data, they unveiled BedMap 3, the most detailed subglacial map ever made. It revealed 41,000 previously unknown features, 10,000 plus subglacial lakes, a canyon 30 miles long, deeper than the Grand Canyon, and 65% of Antarctica's bedrock never mapped until now. Here's where it gets strange. The day after the map dropped, Moulton Howe posted a video. She pointed to 2 zones, McMurdo Station and Wilkes Land, exactly where Spartan 1 entered, exactly where Brian S. saw radar ghosts. And on the new map, both sit atop massive geometric anomalies, flat plains surrounded by concentric ridges, not how erosion works. Coincidence? Maybe, but the pattern's getting harder to ignore. So why is Howe saying, "Before I die"? In December 2025, she uploaded a series of raw, unedited videos. No polish, just her, a desk lamp, and decades of suppressed files. At 83, she said, "I've hidden nothing more. These beings aren't invaders. They've been here since Atlantis, guiding us, or trapping us. I must tell before it's too late." Is she sick? She doesn't say. But consider this. Whistleblowers in this field have a habit of dying before full disclosure. And ice is melting faster than anyone predicted. In 1985, pilots over the Ross Ice Shelf reported glowing plasma orbs rising from cracks. In 2025, drone footage allegedly showed pyramid-like structures emerging near Lake Vostok as melt pools formed. Then, just last week, explorer Colin O'Brady tweeted from the Reedy Glacier. Saw anomalous lights beneath the ice. Not auroras, not equipment, something else. Climate models say significant subglacial exposure could happen by 2100. But if Howe's right, we might not have that long. The 1959 Antarctic Treaty bans military activity, claims the continent is for peaceful scientific research only. Yet the U.S. Navy still runs flights, still controls logistics, still classifies missions. Why did Brian S.'s flight logs disappear? Why do NSF drilling reports from certain sectors carry "for official use only" stamps? And why, in 2023, did the Pentagon quietly expand its UAP task force to include polar anomaly monitoring? The 2026 map proves the landscape is far stranger than we thought, but it doesn't prove aliens. Official answer: exuberant natural topography. Whistleblower answer: terraformed millions of years ago. And Moulton Howe? She believes the truth will surface, literally, within our lifetimes. That's why she's speaking now. Not for fame, not for clicks, but because she thinks we're running out of time to prepare. So here's what we know. The ice is hiding something. Whether it's 14-foot humanoids or billion-year-old geology, we won't know until it melts. And Moulton Howe believes we're closer to that moment than ever before. The real question isn't whether she's right. It's whether we're ready for what happens when the ice finally breaks. If you want to see what happens when the next whistleblower comes forward, or when that ice finally melts, subscribe. Because this story isn't over. It's just beginning.